But it's sort of like what happened on Twitter before when the lefties controlled it. Is that all right, Pearl? You're talking a little too much shit right now. We'll start turning stuff. What they did to Andrew Tate, that was a test. Andrew Tate, but if we, I'll even go back. Alex Jones technically was the first one that happened here. It was a test. Because of all the Sandy Hook stuff that he was talking about, and he apologized for it. And he was, I'm sorry, I was wrong about that one. Even before he got in trouble, right?
Right.
Then they canceled him, took his bank accounts, did all this crazy shit. Then they did Andrew Tate, same thing, boom, 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 and then there. Except he got big enough and he had so much social media presence that even the Ukrainian government, not Ukrainian, I'm sorry, Romania kind of backed off a little bit, but they still have him under house arrest in the country essentially. But he's not house arrested actually. Technically. He can just roam around, but he can't leave the country. And this is like kind of all the crazy shit that's happening is that we're heading towards like a light social credit system. It's sort of like the permanent record, like that permanent record's kind of being, the switch has been flipped on a little bit. And this is why we're so crazy about crypto, because in crypto, it's sort of this fucked up shit right now because like the men are so fucking beta right now that all you need is 3 or 5% of the population to rise up and fucking go, but they're fucking doing everything they can to run interceptions to keep everyone fucking asleep. Because if men are one of the smartest shit that like Andrew Tate ever said, if men they're afraid of men getting together. You have a room of just men. The government pays attention. So if you had a lot of men just say, fuck the shit, we ain't taking this, and they all go to Capitol Hill and they go to Washington, shit'll change over fucking night. But this is about why we have to have the circus, this clown circus, and this fucking bread and these lines and the lions and trainer. We have to have all this distraction. Sunday night football, what's going on? We have to have all this crap because it keeps the fucking dodos fucking sleeping, the sheeple.
Right. Well, then at that time when it comes around, they're just going to say anybody who's congregating is basically forming a conspiracy, and they're Nazis or whatever, hate speech, blah 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 blah. But all these things to just shut people up, right? So it's the opposite of free speech. They say, oh yeah, you can say anything you want except this and that because it's fact checked and blah 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 blah.
There was a case in England actually recently. I don't know if you heard about it, but Nigel Farage, who was the politician behind Brexit, basically like the key ringleader for Brexit, he got his bank account cancelled by Coutts, which is a big private bank in the UK, and it became this big scandal because he spoke out about it, and they cancelled him. Well, apparently there were different reasons, but one of the reasons was his political views were not in alignment with their terms and conditions. So, but because he's quite a big figure in the UK, he spoke out about it, and it became this big scandal. And they're looking into it now. But it's very much in line with what happened with Tate and with
I mean, imagine this. Like let's just say we didn't have crypto and we just had this right now. What'll happen is if you start to speak out, Troy. Basically, we'd have to find a way to donate, or you'd have to have a homie with you to pay for stuff for you. Yeah. Because you'd be completely out of the system, or you'd have to. You basically go back to bartering.
Well, and then
maybe the Amish had it figured out.
I mean, I've seen videos of Amish grind, like literally, like doing drifting in their fucking cars, in their fucking little cars and buggies.
Well, yeah, but then you're gonna have entire sports. Well, you already have entire sports stadiums that only take digital payments. They won't even take cash. Some stadiums anymore, right? And so then. Right now there's laws that can basically say cash can't get phased out. It'll be interesting to see if that starts flipping and how much people actually care. Because if people don't put up any form of resistance, it's going to make it easier.
So I'm gonna go into some top dork shit right here. This is top dork shit right here.
Super dork.
The super dork is we have to fight to keep dollars. Even if eventually it becomes outdated. Like, why do we have physical dollars? It's really important. Another thing too, they're trying to get rid of the penny, right? Just pennies, right? No one really uses them anymore. But the reason they're important is because if you get rid of the penny, what's the next one? 5 cents. So when they start increasing prices, they start increasing it by 5 cents at a time. So, and if you imagine they get rid of all the, they keep quarters. So that means what'll happen is whatever the lowest denomination, well, that's the only thing we can increase it by. So we just do this. So what'll happen is if you get rid of the penny and you get rid of the 5 cents and the dimes and you just go to quarters, you'll start having prices start jumping up crazy amounts.
You're admitting that it's worthless.
Exactly. It's a Dogecoin, right? This fucking fictional coin that Elon Musk kind of pumped up and stuff, right? Was worth fractions of pennies, is at the peak 81 cents. So you're saying shout to Elon, but if you're saying this fake little meme coin that literally does nothing, it's just a meme coin, was worth almost as much as a fucking dollar. With infinite inflation. Shout to Litecoin. But infinite inflation, and this is the shit that's so scary. And then on top of that, so they're going to give this WIC money, because that's what I'm going to call it. It's going to be WIC money, right? They're going to give these things. Here's $1,000. Here's $1,000. $1,000. Everyone has 1,000, right? And then what'll happen is they'll start phasing dollars out, and then eventually what's going to happen here is Pearl, you can't buy guns. You can't buy this. You can't buy that. You can't buy this. And then you can't anymore. So the reason why they're trying to keep, because crypto now is like, I can always pay for stuff in Ethereum.
Yeah.
Or Bitcoin forever. And this is why they're so crazy about stable coins. They're so fucking crazy about. We had PayPal come with a stable coin, and people. I don't know why people didn't realize this, but you know, Tether could freeze your shit. You know, fucking USDC could freeze your stuff. People looked into the source code on the PayPal. They should call it PPUSD, but it was PYUSD. But this coin is like running on the oldest language of Solidity already, which is, you know, they probably should have done that, but they can freeze everything. But it works almost the same as USDC. But the reason people are freaking out about PayPal is because PayPal are a bunch of cunts. Like, a lot of the times they hold your account. Like, imagine if you make $100,000 in revenue on PayPal. Hey, you're making too much money. They'll hold 10, 15,000 of it and just won't give it back to you for weeks. What they're doing is just holding your fucking money and giving themselves a fucking loan. And they do this to thousands of businesses.
Leverage.
Yeah.